What up? What up? What up? This is so much better than the setup I had before. Oh my goodness. First time with the new setup and I love it already. Let's get right to it, man. I'm not here to waste no time. 21 indispensable qualities of a leader. It's your boy, it's your man's SJ, Slider Deuce, Sylvester James, as you know and love me. I know and love you right back. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, whatever y'all got to do to make sure you don't miss. This is going to be chapter one and chapter two. We're just going to take it straight like that. Knock this baby out, on to the next book. You know what I'm saying? Character one, be a piece of the rock. Leadership is the capacity and will to rally men and women to a common purpose and the character which inspires confidence. That's a quote by Bernard Montgomery, who was a British field marshal. Another is never, for the sake of peace and quiet, deny your own experience or convictions. Dog, ooh, I do not know how to say this gentleman's last name. I got to step my game up there. But he's a statesman and a Nobel Peace Prize winner. So, he's doing big things in these streets. Here we go. Putting it all on the line. If you've traveled through smaller airports and have much experience flying in corporate aircraft, you've probably seen or flown in a Learjet. I've had the opportunity to fly in one a couple of times, and it's quite an experience. They're small, capable of carrying only 5 or 6 passengers, and very fast. It's like climbing into a narrow tube with jet engines strapped to it. I have to admit, the whole experience of riding in a Learjet is pretty exhilarating. But by far the most amazing thing to me about it is the time it saves. I've traveled literally millions of miles on airlines, and I'm accustomed to long drives to airports, car rental returns, shuttles, terminal congestion, and seemingly endless delays. It can be a nightmare. Flying on a Learjet can easily cut travel time in half. The father of this amazing airplane was a man named Bill Lear, an inventor, aviator, and business leader. Lear held more than 150 patents, including those of the automatic pilot, car radio, and 8-track tapes. Can't win them all. Lear was a pioneer in his thinking, and in the 1950s he could see the potential for the manufacture of small corporate jets. It took him several years to make his dream a reality, but in 1963 the first Lear jet made its maiden voyage, and in 1964 he delivered his first production jet to a client. Lear's success was immediate, and he quickly sold many aircraft. That's interesting that aircraft is singular. Like it's not called aircrafts with an S. I don't know. Maybe my name is Sylvester. I like S's, but anyway. But not long after he got his start, Lear learned that 2 aircraft he'd built had crashed under mysterious circumstances. He was devastated. At that time, 55 Lear jets were privately owned, and Lear immediately sent word to all of the owners to ground their planes until he and his team could determine what had caused the crashes. The thought that more lives might be lost was far more important to him than any adverse publicity that action might generate in the media. As he researched the ill-fated flights, Lear discovered a potential cause, but he couldn't verify the technical problem on the ground. There was only one sure way to find out whether he had diagnosed the problem correctly. He would have to recreate it. He would have to try to recreate it personally, in the air. It was a dangerous process, but that's what he did. As he flew the jet, he nearly lost control and almost met the same fate as the other 2 pilots. But he did manage to make it through the tests, and he was able to verify the defect. Lear developed a new part to correct the problem and fitted all 55 planes with it, eliminating the danger. Grounding the planes cost Lear a lot of money, and it planted seeds of doubt in the minds of potential customers. As a result, he needed 2 years to rebuild the business. But Lear never regretted his decision. He was willing to risk his success, his fortune, and even his life to solve the mystery of those crashes, but not his integrity. And that takes character. Fleshing it out. How a leader deals with the circumstances of life tells you many things about his character. Crisis doesn't necessarily make character, but it certainly does reveal it. Adversity is a crossroads that makes a Adversity is a crossroads that makes a person choose one of two paths: character or compromise. Every time he chooses character, he becomes stronger, even if that choice brings negative consequences. As Nobel Prize winning author Alexander, I'm gonna have to get my name game up, boy. They trying to hit me with them. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Solzhenitsyn, Alexander Solzhenitsyn noted, the meaning of earthly existing lies not as we have grown used to thinking in prospering, but in the development of the soul. End quote. The development of character is at the heart of our development, not just as leaders, but as human beings. What must every person know about character? This is broken into four sections. Number one, character is more than talk. Anyone can say that he has integrity, but action is the real indicator of character. Your character determines who you are. Who you are determines what you see. What you see determines what you do. That's why you can never separate a leader's character from his actions. If a leader's actions and intentions are continually working against each other, then look to his character to find out why. Section 2. Talent is a gift, but character is a choice. We have no control over a lot of things in life. We don't get to choose our parents. We don't select the location or circumstances of our birth and upbringing. We don't get to pick our talents or IQ, but we do choose our character. In fact, we create it every time we make choices to cop out or dig out of a hard situation, to bend the truth or stand under the weight of it, to take the easy money or pay the price. As you live your life and make choices today, you are continuing to create your character. Number 3, character brings lasting success with people. True leadership always involves other people. As the leadership proverb says, if you think you're leading and no one is following you, then you're only taking a walk. Followers do not trust leaders whose character they know to be flawed, and they will not continue following them. Section 4. Leaders cannot rise above the limitations of their character. Have you ever seen highly talented people suddenly fall apart when they have achieved a certain level of success? The key to that phenomenon is character. Stephen Berglass, a psychologist at the Harvard Medical School and author of The Success Syndrome, says that people who achieve great heights but lack the bedrock character to sustain them through the stress are headed for disaster. He believes they are destined for one or more of the 4 A's: arrogance, painful feelings of aloneness, destructive adventure seeking, or adultery. Each is a terrible price to pay for weak character. Reflecting on it. If you found yourself being sucked in by one of the 4 A's that Berglass identifies, call a timeout. Do what you must to step away from the stress of your success and seek professional help. Some of the stress of your success and seek professional help. Don't think that the valley you're in will pass with time, more money, or increased prestige. Unaddressed cracks in character only get deeper and more destructive with time. If you're not struggling in any of these 4 areas, you should still examine the condition of your character. Ask yourself whether your words and actions match all the time. When you say you'll finish an assignment, do you always follow through? If you tell your children that you'll make it to their recital or ball game, are you there for it? Can people trust your handshake as they would a legal contract? As you lead others at home, at work, and in the community, recognize that your character is the most important asset. G. Allen Bernard, president of Midpark Inc., stated, "The respect that leadership must have requires that one's ethics be without question. A leader not only stays above the line between right and wrong, he stays well clear of the gray areas." Okay, you're talking to me. Bringing it home. To improve your character, do the following: search for the cracks, spend some time looking at the major areas of your life work, marriage, family, service, etc. and identify anywhere you might have cut corners, compromised, or let people down. Write down every instance you can recall from the past 2 months. Ugh, who wants to do that? Look for patterns. Examine the responses that you just wrote down. Is there a particular area where you have a weakness, or do you have a type of problem that keeps surfacing? Detectable patterns will help you diagnose character issues. Face the music. The beginning of character repair comes when you face your flaws, apologize, and deal with the consequences of your actions. Create a list of people to whom you need to apologize for your actions, then follow through with sincere apologies. Rebuild. It's one thing to face up to your past actions, it's another to build a new future. Now that you've identified any areas of weakness, create a plan that will prevent you from making the same mistakes again. Daily takeaway. This is a raw read, so I guess we're coming to the end of the chapter. A man took his young daughter to a carnival, and she immediately ran over to a booth and asked for cotton candy. As the attendant handed her a huge ball of it, the father asked, "Sweetheart, are you sure you can eat all that?" "Don't worry, Dad," she answered. "I'm a lot bigger on the inside than on the outside." That's what real character is, being bigger on the inside. That was kind of dope. That was kind of dope. I'm gonna take a break, wet my little whistle. We're gonna hop into chapter 2 in just a second. What we talking about? Hey, what's up? I appreciate that. Hey, no, it's all good. I appreciate everybody that's joining. I also put it in the description, but this is the 21 Indispensable Qualities of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. One of my leaders actually suggested the book to me, told me to check it out, and I'm following through on that. So give me just a sec. I'll be right back. Yep, got that little Merlot hitting. Anyway, let's do it. Chapter 2. Here we go. Ooh, this one. Here we go. Charisma. The first impression can seal the deal. How can you have charisma? Be more concerned with making others feel good about themselves than you are making them feel good about you. Dan Ryland, executive pastor at 12 Stone Church in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I have yet to find the man, however exalted his station, who did not do better work and put forth greater effort under a spirit of approval than under a spirit of criticism. Charles Schwab, the industrialist. Now, it's only a few folks I really rock with like that. Charlie Schwab is definitely one of those fellas. He's definitely one of those fellas. I'm gonna run that back, Don DeMarco style. Here we go. I'm gonna run that back for y'all. I have yet to find the man, however exalted his station, who did not do better work and put forth greater effort under a spirit of approval than under a spirit of criticism. That was the industrialist Chucky Schwab, Charles Schwab. Sorry, let me put some respect on his name. Anyway, let's continue. Chapter 2. The cleverest in England. During the second half of the 19th century, two strong men vied for leadership of Great Britain's government, William Gladstone and Benjamin Disraeli. The two politicians were intense rivals. You can detect how they felt about each other based on a comment once made by Disraeli. The difference between a misfortune and a calamity: if Gladstone fell into the Thames River, it would be a misfortune. But if someone dragged him out again, it would be a calamity. He really didn't like that guy. Many people believe that Gladstone, leader of the Liberal Party for 3 decades, personified the best qualities of Victorian England. A career public servant, he was a great orator, a master of finance, and a staunchly moral man. He was made Prime Minister of the United Kingdom 4 times, and the only person in the nation's history to achieve that honor. Under his leadership, Great Britain established a national education system, instituted parliamentary reform, and saw the vote given to a significant number of people in the working classes. Benjamin Disraeli, who served twice as prime minister, had a different kind of background. In his 30s, he entered politics and built a reputation as a diplomat and social reformer. But his greatest accomplishment was masterminding Great Britain's purchase of shares in the Suez Canal. Though both men accomplished much for Britain, what really separated them as leaders was their approach to people. The difference can be best illustrated by a story told by a young woman who dined with the two rival statesmen on consecutive nights. When asked her impression of them, she said, "When I left the dining room, after sitting next to Mr. Gladstone, I thought he was the cleverest man in England. But after sitting next to Mr. Disraeli, I thought I was the cleverest woman in England." Disraeli possessed a quality that drew people to him and made them want to follow him. He had charisma. Fleshing it out. Okay, I'm starting to understand. Fleshing it out is kind of a recurring thing here. We in chapter 2. It's a raw read. Y'all read it just like I'm reading it. I appreciate y'all. Most people think of charisma as something mystical, almost undefinable. They think it's a quality that comes at birth or not at all. But that's not true. Charisma, plainly stated, is the ability to draw people to you. And like other character traits, it can be developed. To make yourself the kind of person who attracts others, you need to personify these pointers. 1. Love life. People enjoy leaders who enjoy life. Think of the people you want to spend time with. How would you describe them? Grumpy? Bitter? Depressed? Of course not. They're celebrators, not complainers. They're passionate about life. If you want to attract people, you need to be like the people you enjoy being with. 18th century evangelist John Wesley recognized that, saying, "When you set yourself on fire, people love to come and see you burn." Okay, it's good. It's good. It's one way to put it. Number 2, put a 10 on every person's head. One of the best things you can do for people, which also attracts them to you, is to expect the best of them. I call it putting a 10 on everyone's head. It helps others think more highly of themselves, and at the same time, it also helps you. According to Jacques Wiesel, fun names in this book, I love it. A survey of 100 self made millionaires showed only one common denominator. These highly successful men and women could only see the good in people. Benjamin Disraeli understood and practiced this concept. It was one of the secrets of his charisma. He once said, "The greatest good you can do for another is not just share your riches, but to reveal to him his own." If you appreciate others, encourage them, and help them reach their potential, they will love you for it. 3. Give people hope. French general Napoleon Bonaparte characterized leaders as dealers in hope. Like all great leaders, he knew that hope is the greatest of all possessions. If you can be the person who bestows that gift on others, they will be attracted to you, and they will be forever grateful. 4. Share yourself. People love leaders who share themselves in their life journeys. As you lead people, give of yourself. Share wisdom, resources, and even special occasions. That's one of my favorite things to do. For example, I recently went to an annual storytelling festival in Jonesboro, Tennessee. It was something I had wanted to do for years. And when I was finally able to work it into my schedule, my wife Margaret and I took 2 leaders from my staff and their wives. We had a wonderful time, and more important, I was able to add value to their lives by spending special time with them. When it comes to charisma, the bottom line is other-mindedness. Leaders who can think about others and their concerns before thinking of themselves exhibit charisma. Reflecting on it. How would you rate yourself when it comes to charisma? Are other people naturally attracted to you? Are you well liked? If not, you may possess one of these roadblocks to charisma. Pride. Nobody wants to follow a leader who thinks he is better than everyone else. Insecurity. If you are uncomfortable with who you are, others will be too. Moodiness. If people never know what to expect from you, they stop expecting anything. Perfect. Damn, y'all just gonna read my whole life in a book. That's crazy, man. That's wild how y'all do me like that, man. Anyway, perfectionism. People respect the desire for excellence, but dread totally unrealistic expectations. Hey, y'all, appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate y'all. Anybody that's asking, this is John C. Maxwell, 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader. We almost done. This is chapter two. That's chapter two. I just read perfectionism. These are things that may be roadblocks to your charisma. Cynicism. People don't want to be rained on by someone who sees a cloud around every silver lining. If you can stay away from these qualities, you can cultivate charisma. Oh, I like cultivate. You can just kind of sprout it up. Bringing it home. To improve your charisma, do the following. Change your focus. Observe your interaction with people during the next few days. As you talk to others, determine how much of your conversation is concentrated on yourself. Determine to tip the balance in favor of focusing on others. Okay, I'm up for the challenge. Y'all up for the challenge? Drop a one in the chat if you up for the challenge. That's easy. I mean, it's two of y'all, so it shouldn't be hard for me to peek the ones in the chat. If y'all up for changing our focus, let's see if we can treat folks and make the focus be about them just for the next 2 days. Ain't got to make a lifestyle out of it. Play the first impression game. Try an experiment. The next time you meet someone for the first time, try your best to make a good impression. Learn the person's name. Focus on his interests or her. Be positive, and most important, treat him as a 10. Put a 10 on their head, like they said. And if you can do this for a day, you can do it every day. And that will increase your charisma overnight. The book says overnight. That's what it says. Share yourself. Make it your long term goal to share your resources with others. Think about how you can add value to 5 people in your life this year. They can be family members, colleagues, employees, or friends. Provide resources to help them grow personally and professionally, and share your personal journey with them. Daily takeaway. Yeah, we wrapping it up. Pearl Mesta, the greatest Washington hostess since Dolly Madison, was asked the secret of her success in getting so many rich and famous people to attend her parties. It's all in the greetings and goodbyes, she replied. When a guest arrived, she met him saying, "At last you're here." And as each left, she said, "I'm sorry you have to leave so soon." Her agenda was to focus on others, not herself. That's charisma. That was fire for me. I don't know how y'all felt about it, but that's not my journey. How you feel about this information is your journey, and I wish you the absolute best on it. I'm SJ. This has been what I said was the 21 indispensable qualities of a leader. I got to tighten up my swirl. See how I was showing all over my bedroom and stuff. The 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, becoming the person others will want to follow, by John C. Maxwell. Shout out to the executive that told me to read this book. I'm very happy for that already. I can appreciate what you was trying to do, and I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision. All right, y'all. I got other things to do, get into, but I definitely appreciate y'all. Peace out, and shout out for the new sub. Y'all be easy. Ooh.